Hey, it's Dr. Joe. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get rid of your neck pain that you've been experiencing. You know, there's a small muscle of the body that causes a lot of big problems, and that's what we're going to go over today. Before we do, if you haven't done so already, visit my website, okramedhealth.com. We have a full line of fascial release products. Everything is in stock and ready to ship out. Also, we're really trying hard by the end of the year to get to 100,000 subscribers. So I'd really appreciate it if you just took a moment right now, subscribe to my channel, Okramed Health on YouTube, click that little bell notification. It notifies you every time I upload a new video. And at the end of today's video, if you find the information helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. So what's that small muscle that causes a lot of big problems in regards to the neck and neck pain? It's called the levator scapula. And just like the name states, the levator scapula elevates the scapula. It shrugs your shoulders up when it contracts. Now, a lot of times this small muscle, you have one on each side. A lot of times when it gets tight and it's contracted and it's really stiff in there, a lot of people come into my office, and I've been seeing patients for over 33 years, thinking that the tightness is in their upper trapezius muscle. And as I start palpating around, you realize, no, it's not the upper trapezius, it's the levator scapula. Quick anatomy. The levator scapula is actually attached to the upper inside border of the scapula, which is your shoulder blade, and attaches into the top 4 cervical vertebrae. So when you're at your desk or you're playing your video games or whatever, and you feel those shoulders starting to come up, and you feel that tension, and you feel that stiffness and the onset of neck pain, that's the levator scapula contracting, pulling those shoulders up. And a lot of times it's overlooked. A lot of times people think it's an upper trapezius issue, and they don't actually work on the correct muscle. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to work and do some myofascial release work specifically on the levator scapula muscle to help this particular problem, okay? So let's get right to it. Okay, a little close-up view here because I want to show you how to locate the levator scapula. It's actually pretty easy to locate even though it's a small muscle. And so everyone pretty much knows where the upper trapezius muscle is, right? If you crush your arms down here, your upper trapezius kind of pops up a little bit. The upper trapezius is up right here, and it goes all the way up to the base of the skull. So that's easy to locate. So once you see the upper trapezius muscle here, take your fingers and just kind of push back on the upper trapezius. So this would be on top of the upper trapezius. Now I'm pushing back on it. And if you push up back on the upper trapezius and just start walking your fingers up the side of your neck, you're getting onto the levator scapula. And if you're not sure, as you walk the fingers up the side of the neck, right through here, shrug your shoulder. And the levator scapula, since it elevates the scapula, that's the muscle you're going to feel under your fingers tighten up as you shrug your shoulders. So if you're not sure where it is, just simply shrug your shoulders. Every time maybe you feel like you're working on it and you're losing where the location is, just shrug it, you'll feel the muscle contract. So the levator scapula is basically right along here. Like I said, you're just getting in front of the upper trapezius, just push it back and dig the fingers all the way up here. Okay, so that's how you locate it. You have one on each side. So let me show you some of the fascial release work you can do on it. Okay, so the first myofascial release technique I want to go over is what we're gonna do what's called a cross friction massage. So the levator scapula, the muscle fibers are running basically up and down along the side of the neck. Cross friction means we're going to come on it in this manner, going this way, okay? So if you have no fascial release tools at your house, let me show you what you can use. You can use your index, middle, and ring finger. Now, if you put them together, the middle finger sticks out a little bit. If you use it like that, that middle finger is going to be prodding at the tissue and it's going to be uncomfortable. So simply just bend the middle finger a little bit and make a nice flat surface, and this makes an excellent fascial release tool. Okay, so we're going to get in here, use those 3 fingers, do like we were talking about, get that upper trapezius muscle back and kind of push in. Unsure where the muscle is, shrug the shoulder, you can feel where it is. And now from this position, I'm going to just go back and forth with my fingers along the levator scapula. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to slowly work my way up. Because as we mentioned, it attaches into the top 4 cervical vertebrae. And then I'm going to work my way down. And as you work your way down, get in there as deep as you can, down as far down as you can, and then come back up. And do that for about 2 minutes. It's going to get a tremendous amount of blood flow. You want to get a little more aggressive, we can use a spiky massage ball. This is a Tai Chi ball from Okramed Health. This is a regular sized Tai Chi ball. You can see this, the spikes on this ball. We're going to be able to dig into the tissue a little deeper. So now, because we're using the Tai Chi ball, make sure you go a little easier on the tissue, because if you're not used to it, because we're going to get into the tissue, and this Tai Chi ball is going to really help break up the adhesions more than the tips of your finger. So once again, find the levator scapula with your fingers, bring the ball up, and then do the cross friction, pushing the ball into the tissue, and just do just what we showed you. Go up, come back down as deep as you can, and back for a couple minutes. Going to get a tremendous amount of blood flow. This is going to dig in and really help break up any fascial adhesions that have built up into the muscle, okay? Either way, you're going to notice when you're done, it's going to be a little pinkish, a little reddish, and that's good. That means we got a lot of blood flow into the tissue, which is exactly what we want, because the levator scapula, if you've been holding those shoulders up and you've been tense during the day, you have restricted blood flow. So those two, that cross friction technique is going to help generate a lot of blood flow. All right, let's move on to technique number 2. Okay, next we're going to move on to what we call a pin and stretch technique. So this pin and stretch technique, we're basically going to trap some of the tissue. Once again, we can use our 3 fingers again. We can do the pinning with the Tai Chi ball, and then we're going to add a little movement. So we're going to basically take the muscle from a shortened position, trap it or pin it, and then bring the muscle into a longer position, and that's going to help pull apart any adhesion buildup that's in there, okay? So using the ball, let me show you what we're going to do. It's a good idea, like sit down on your hand, and so that you basically want to keep that shoulder pinned down, okay? If you don't, sometimes the shoulder will come up as you're doing it, and it kind of takes away from the technique. So sit on your arm and make sure that shoulder is not able to come up. Now, find that levator scapula a little bit, and I want you to just bend your head a little bit in this direction towards that side. Find the muscle. I want you to put the ball up against the muscle, push in, and just slightly pull down. So you're trapping the tissue. Push in and pull down. So I have the levator scapula, I'm leaning to that side. I have the muscle in a shortened position, and I have the tissue trapped. From here, nice and easy, I'm going to stretch that levator scapula as I tilt my head in the opposite direction. You can have a little bit of a turn like that at the very end, and come back. And then repeat. Tilt it, and go back. Do that about 5 or 6 times, and then move the ball in a little different position. Maybe move it an inch further up. Again, tilt the head, push in, pull down, and trap the tissue with the ball. And now tilt the head in the opposite direction, and then a slight turn at the end, just like that. And do that 5 or 6 times. So move it in, probably can get 3 or 4 different positions, and every time you move the ball, you're going to do 5 or 6 release movements on it, okay? I'm going to show you a little variation of that also, that if you have an exercise band, you can do at home also. Okay, this technique is actually, if you have like an exercise band, this is great to do. If you don't have one, that's okay. I mean, this is just an additional technique I want to show everyone. So if you have a nice thick exercise band, use it. This particular technique also is more for the lower part of the levator scapula. It's not going to be as effective in this upper part, but just simply drape the band over that side that you're working on. Put the other end of the band around your foot. And you're sitting on a bench or a stool or a chair or whatever. And this is going to be your control leg here. As I push my foot towards the floor, I increase the tension on the band, okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to take the ball. We're going to find that levator scapula, put the ball on the levator scapula, put the band over the ball, and now I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure down, and you're going to feel that ball dig into the soft tissue there, okay? It's going to dig into the muscle a little bit. Just gently, you just gauge your pressure. You have full control with that leg. Now I have the ball in the band, just like that. If you find a knot, just hold it for about 60 seconds with the ball into the muscle there. Maybe you have a little knot in that levator scapula. Just hang out like this for about 60 seconds. Also, what you can do is put the ball onto that levator scapula, tilt your head, trap the ball, and you can do that pin and stretch technique, just like that. Okay, it's a very effective technique, and the nice part about it, you can get some good pressure by controlling it with the band. It holds the ball in position, so it's just a nice little technique if you have a band that you can use. Okay, so give those techniques a try. They're simple to do, they're easy to perform. Best of luck to everybody. How often should you do them? The cross friction massage, you can do that every day, and you can actually do it several times a day. If you're at your desk or you're playing video games and you start feeling those shoulders are coming up and that head is coming down, push away, spend a couple minutes doing the cross friction massage. You can do it several times a day. The soft tissue work, especially the soft tissue work, the pin and stretch technique with the Tai Chi ball, that's something I would do every other day and just do one session of that. Just spend one session, then give it the following day to rest, okay? So, and as far as the Tai Chi balls go, this is a regular size we demonstrated from Oakland Health, okay? We have these in stock. But we also have a mini size. It's a little bit smaller and it's a little bit softer. So if you're new to fascia release work, or if you maybe have a smaller neck, you may want to do a mini Tai Chi ball from Oakland Health, or you could do a regular size, or you can switch off, start with this and build up till you get to the regular size, which like I said is a little firmer. Anyways, best of luck. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, Oakland Health on YouTube. Questions about exercise or injuries, just leave me a comment in the comment section down below. I do the best I can to get back to everybody. And don't forget, Oakland Health is here to keep you fit forever.